हरि ओम। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। Bhagavad Gita, a conversation with God daily. In this series today, chapter 6, shloka number 16. नात्यश्नतस्तु योगोऽस्ति न चैकान्तमनश्नतः न चाति स्वप्नशीलस्य जाग्रतो नैव चार्जुन। The instructions for a yogi, how actually yoga abhyasa is to be done. You have to select a solitary clean place, and then how the seat is to be made, how you should sit, how you should actually meditate. Everything was explained in the previous shlokas. Today it is continued. नाति अश्नतस्तु योगः अस्ति न च एकान्तम् अनश्नतः. One who follows dhyana yoga, a yogi, how he should eat. He should not eat in excess, and he should not eat less also. यदुहवा आत्मसम्मितम् अन्नं तत् अवति तन्न हिनस्ति यद् भूयो हिनस्ति तद् यत् कनियो न तत् avati, says the Vedas. That is, whatever amount of food is suitable for a person, that amount of food must be eaten. What is the meaning? What is the food that is suitable for a person? If a person is very active, if he does a lot of physical work, then the amount of calories that such a person needs will be higher. And for a person who is leading a sedentary lifestyle, the amount of calories needed will be less. So, the amount of food that a person should eat also varies. So, whatever is suitable for you, whatever your body needs, that amount of food must be taken. If you eat like that, then it protects your body. It does not cause any harm. And similarly, if you are going to eat in excess, then it harms your body. On the other hand, if you are going to eat less, then it will not protect your body. Your body is not going to get the necessary nutrients and it will not be nourished, says the Vedas. So, The correct amount of food must be eaten. Not more, not less. Okay, what is the correct amount? Ardham ashanasya savyanjanasya tritiyam udakasya tu vayoho sancharanartham tu chaturtham avaseshayet. In the stomach, half of it can be filled with what you eat, rice, vegetables, all that. And in the remaining half must be left for water. You drink water after you eat for that. And the remaining 1/4 must be left empty for the free movement of air. So, that is the amount of food that we should eat. Eat just so much. You feel so full, not even able to breathe. That is not the right way of eating. So, a yogi should eat the correct quantity of food. And similarly, nacha ati swapnashilasya jagrato naivacha Arjuna. Arjuna, how much you sleep also matters. One who sleeps a lot, always sleeping, gets up only morning 8 o'clock. Such a person also cannot succeed in yoga abhyasa. And one who does not sleep at all, always remaining awake, such a person also cannot succeed in the practice of yoga. Everything should be in moderation, in the correct amount. Next shloka. Yuktahara viharasya yuktacheshtasya karmasu yuktasvapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Next. Yuktahara viharasya. Proper amount of food, proper food. Next, recreation. For recreation, the commentary says things like walking, not what we now know as recreation, watching TV or going here there. Recreation has been explained as walking and things like that. So, all that must be to the correct extent, to the correct level. Again, not in excess or not very less also. Yukta cheshtasya karmasu. Whatever he does, his actions. And yukta swapnava bodhasya. Sleeping at the correct time and waking up at the correct time. Both are very important. To a yogi who follows all these correctly, his yoga abhyasa will actually destroy all sufferings. It will destroy samsara. He will be liberated. He will not be born again. Yada viniyatam chittam atmanyevavatisthate nisprihaha sarvakamebhyo yukta ityuchyate tada. And when the yogi has been practicing yoga and when his mind is totally controlled. Visheshena niyatam viniyatam. Specially, perfectly controlled. It is single pointed with perfect concentration, and it is concentrated totally on the Atma. Nisprihaha, and when he is totally unattached to all external desires. He doesn't have any desire. He is not attached to any external thing. Sarva kamebhyo aihikamushmika bhogebhyo. Desires regarding this world, all worldly desires, and he does not have any desires regarding after death also, regarding what he is going to attain afterwards. Devoid of all these desires, nothing. When the person reaches such a state, then it means he has succeeded in his yogic practice. Yada deepo nivatastho negate sopama smrita yogino yata chittasya yunjato yogamatmanaha. And a comparison is given for what is the state of the yogi in this state when he has actually succeeded. Yada deepo nivatasto nengate, the flame of a lamp, it does not flicker at all when there is no wind blowing. It is totally still, like that still flame of a lamp when there is no wind. The yogi's mind also is totally still, without any thoughts. Yogino yata chittasya yunjato yogamatmanaha. The yogi in total control of his mind is one with his Atma. Yatro paramate chittam nirudam yoga sevaya yatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyan atmani tushyati. And in this state, the mind is totally, it does not exist at all. Yogaha chitta vritti nirodha. The total end of all thoughts is yoga. So here chittam niruddham yoga sevaya. Because of the practice of this yoga continuously, his thoughts have been totally stopped, no thoughts at all, and the antahkarana purified by the yogic practices, it actually sees that Supreme Brahman, that Jyoti Swarupam, it sees, and it finds happiness in its own self. Sukham atyantikam yattat buddhigrahyamatīndriyam veti yatra na chaivayam stitas chalati tattvataha. And in that state, the yogi actually experiences atyantikam sukham, great happiness, infinite bliss, that yogi experiences. And atindriyam, avishaya janitam, it is not that happiness is not because of what you get from the external objects. The happiness that you get out of your indriyas, it is not that. It is something beyond that. Whatever happiness you get in this world by seeing something, from hearing something, by tasting something, by smelling something, by touching something, all these are just nothing. That yogi actually experiences a happiness, a joy, bliss that is beyond all this. Yatra na chaivayam stitaschalati tattvataha. And after being established totally in the Atma, he does not waver. He is firmly established in the Atma. Yam labdva cha param labham manyate nadhikam tataha yasmin sthito na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. And having attained this, no other gain seems greater to that yogi. Whatever he attains thereafter, everything is less than this happiness that he is experiencing. And being established in the Atma, na dukkena gurunapi vichalyate. Whatever great joy comes to him, everything is just inferior to his joy. And whatever great suffering comes to him, that also he is totally not affected because of that also. Na vidya dukkha samyoga viyogam yoga sanyitam sanischayena yoktavyo yogo nirvinna chetasa. Tam vidya dukkha samyoga viyogam yoga sanyitam. And this state where you are totally cut off from union with pain, whatever pain or suffering it be, you don't get attached to it at all. You are totally away from it. You are totally separated from that pain. That state is called yoga. So, sa nischayena yoktavyo yogo anirvinna chetasa. Therefore, with determination, you should definitely practice this yoga. With anirvinna chetasa, without getting dejected or discouraged. There may be many hurdles when you practice yoga, but you should never give up. With a firm determination, without giving up your enthusiasm, without getting dejected, you should practice yoga. We'll stop with that for today. We'll continue tomorrow. Hari Om.